Welcome back to another shed night. I bought a car. It happens from time to time. Sometimes more often than not buying a car. This is a funny car. Not really like a funny car like a drag car, but this is a funny car to buy. This is a Kia Cerato. I bought this as a new courtesy car. But it does lead me into this video and what I want to talk about on this video. I want to talk about Marketplace and buying stuff on Marketplace. I've just bought this and it was quite an interesting purchasing process, I suppose. It's a nice little car. I really know nothing about it and it really brings me no joy to buy the thing. It's funny, you can buy all sorts of things. I buy some weird stuff and it most of the time doesn't even run, and I get super stoked on it and pumped and have these visions, and this does not do that. This is an appliance. This is like a fridge or a dryer. Although I think I'd be more excited about a dryer because, you know, it dries your clothes and that's pretty cool. This does not do that. This transports people, which is its sole purpose as a courtesy vehicle. I'm going to put some stickers on it and we're going to give it the full, you know, Clue and Mufflers livery, if that's the right word. But I have gone on quite a journey with buying this car, which is weird, is the best way of putting it. Like, you think I'm just buying a weird little sedan, hatchbacky type car, it wouldn't be that hard. But I've been on Marketplace now for a couple of weeks trying to buy a car. And that was not easy at all, by any stretch of the imagination. I've dealt with some very odd people. And you'd think if you were selling a car, you would be attentive. If someone sends you a message, you would probably reply. If you try and hook up a meeting to go and see someone about buying said car, that they would probably reply and go, yes, I'm free on this time at this date, or blah, blah, blah. Come look at the car, see what you think. I've had all sorts of weird stuff. I've had people just not replying. My worst one, and you know how you send that message and you can see that they've seen it, but yet they have not replied within like a couple of hours, 2 days type scenario. I just don't know what goes through their mind. They posted the car for sale. They are intending on selling it, theoretically, and then they just leave it there. They've read your message, they've seen it. You know they've seen it. It's a part of the Marketplace messaging arrangement, but yet for some reason they don't reply. One of them I sent a message to was saying, hey, I'm interested in the car, I'm free on this time at this day, can I come see it? And they just sent back yes. No address, no nothing. So I sent back another message like, I'm in this area, what area are you in, when can I come have a look at it? And they just sent back, yes, it's available. Like, and that went on for a couple of days of just weirdness like that. Now, I bought a lot of stuff on Marketplace. This car, I bought this on Marketplace. This is a fantastic Marketplace find. And I did post a video when I bought this Ram, basically saying I thought it was a scam. I even sent the guy $500. It was over an hour away to go get the thing. I thought that was a scam. I bought this on Marketplace. This is my Navara. This is my beach-going camping vehicle. It was $4,000 and does everything it needs to do, basically. It's nothing flash, but it does the job. This particular car, old mate was clearly inundated on messages. It was very, very cheap. Not running, of course. Don't be silly. Nothing runs. But it was very, very cheap. Now, he did get back to me and we had good communications after that. This vehicle, also great communications. That was a car yard clearing a trade-in. What else have we got to show you? Come in here for a second. Let me show you something else, which is all leading to my point. My fridge. Swing around here. And this thing is one cool piece of gear. This was an Icebreak promotional fridge that they did for a period of time. That one, we'll start with talking about that. Okay, Icebreak fridge. The Icebreak fridge, I was at May in the Bay, which is a car event up in Harvey Bay. And a mate of mine has, well, this is an even better story. God, how long do we have? A mate of mine has one of the Icebreak giveaway cars, which is very, very cool. So, I don't know what the year was. It was quite some time ago now. Icebreak did a massive giveaway. And part of that giveaway was if you bought an Icebreak, you had the chance to win one of 4 Australian muscle cars. They were all wrapped, so you couldn't really see what you were getting. One was a hardtop Falcon. I believe there was a Tirana, a Monaro, and a Charger. Anyways, a long story short, without going too far into it, a mate of mine actually purchased the two-door hardtop Falcon off of the person who won it. The person who won it was a 17 or 16-year-old kid. He won the car and didn't want it, essentially. It was wrapped in like a chrome wrap, and he put it up for sale. Cheap. This is way before COVID and all the car prices went silly. That car, which my friend owns, just happened to be a XB John Goss special. Very, very special car. He's since restored it. It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. But as a part of that, they commissioned these fridges, which is this fridge right. So they made 13, 14 of these particular fridges. They're really cool. And the bigger stores had one of these fridges full of ice breaks, of course, and they were just a promotional fridge, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. So at the end of all that, the executives of Ice Break, which is a bigger company than that, I can't remember the name of it, they all got either given or somehow received one of these fridges. Now, this particular fridge went to one of the ladies that worked at Ice Break at the time, or the mother company, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, she ended up putting it up for sale. And this particular friend of mine sent me a message whilst I was away at May in the Bay. He was actually, I think he was there too. Pretty cool event. If you ever go to May in the Bay, it's pretty awesome. Now, I sent her a message. I think the fridge was $650. I'm just going to put that out there. I think that's what I paid for it. And I sent her a message immediately, and I said, look, I'm currently away at a car event. I can't get there this weekend, but I can do next weekend. Happy to pay your asking price if you would hold it. I was also happy to pay a deposit. I usually am. I paid a deposit on the Ram. I paid a $500 deposit on the Ram to a person I'd never met on a car that was way too cheap for what it was. I'm just kind of trusting like that. And I think gotta be a little bit ballsy. It's probably the other side of it. You need to be a little bit ballsy because, like the Ram, sometimes these things actually come off and you pull off a really cool bargain. The fridge was the same, but she didn't want a deposit. She was happy to hold it. And I went down the following weekend. I picked up my fridge and paid her the money and whatnot. The reason I got the fridge, I was the first person, she had a lot of messages. I was the first person to message her, not haggle the price, no bullshit, and just say, look, I want the fridge, I'll pay the money, please hold it. And that's how I got that. Now, that's what leads me to this video. I was actually just talking to a mate of mine on the phone, and I was talking about all the bullshit I went through to buy a small little car as a courtesy car, because seriously, I tried to buy 6 other cars and it just fell apart, which is, if you're selling it, you think it's for sale, right? And we got to talking, and I think I've worked a few things out. Now, many years ago, and probably a lot of the younger generation will not remember this, we had the trading post, and we would freaking live and breathe the trading post. So the trading post was printed. Yeah, it was a printed newspaper, a freaking newspaper. It's funny that I'm even making this video and talking about something that doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, the newspaper doesn't exist. And there were others, the Sunshine Coast Daily on the Sunshine Coast. So the Sunshine Coast Daily, and there was a free one as well. You could get it from service stations. But every Thursday morning, the trading post came out. Whatever time they delivered newspapers to service stations and whatnot. Back in that time period, and I wish I could remember the year. Let's go say in 2006. That's pretty close. My Thursday ritual for the trading post was I worked as a generator technician. I used to work on emergency powered gensets. Now the Karoi Hospital was my Thursday morning job. At 5 a.m. I would go to the hospital there, and I would have to run the generator on the building load. So what we would do is we would simulate a power failure. Generator starts up, it runs the building. We do that for 1 hour, and I just had to monitor it for the whole hour. It's not the most riveting job you can ever have. Fulfilling, but not riveting sometimes. So the genset would run for an hour. I had some time to kill, basically. You just sit right next to it and just monitor the oil pressure and the engine temperature and make sure the load was doing what it had to do and all that sort of thing. I would then go on my way to doing that job. I would call into a service station. I would get an ice break, which is funny because the ice break fridge, it ties in nicely there. But anyway, I'd stop and get an ice break. I was a big ice break and V person back in the day. God. I stop and get my ice break, and I would grab a trading post because it was Thursday morning, so you stop and grab yourself a trading post. And I would religiously read the trading post, went straight to the automotive section. Can't remember what it was called. I really wish I still had one. I remember when they ended the trading post, and I never kept the last one. Wish I did. That'd been cool. Probably sell for a few bucks these days. Anyway, I was stopping at my trading post, and I switched right to the main section that I actually cared about. Kind of knew where it was in the pages arrangement, and I would just sit there and I'd sift through all the ads in the trading post, and I would buy and sell. Essentially, it was my thing. I would buy and sell out of the trading post, or if I was chasing something or something came up that I wanted, I'd also buy it and keep it. I probably still have stuff upstairs in the mezzanine that I bought from the trading post back in the day. I bought a lot of stuff. Trading post was different to what we have with Marketplace. So with the trading post, you would grab yourself a trading post, you flick through it, and it'd be like 3 lines. It was bugger all. You would read the ad, whatever it may be, set of mirrors for a GQ patrol or something like that, you know. You would have a phone number. There was nothing else. You can't text this person some crappy lowball offer. And this is where I'm coming around to this, is etiquette. I think etiquette comes into this, and that was lost on Marketplace. You couldn't text someone a lowball offer. You would pick up the phone and ring them. And you'd have a conversation, like a real person. And you'd have a conversation. You'd talk about it, you'd discuss it. The person on the other end of the line was usually quite ethical, I suppose is the best word, or honest, just bloody honest. They would tell you the description of what you were looking at, and you would arrange a time, and you would go get that item. Your word was good enough. That was it. You would say, hey, I will meet you at this time. There's no text messages. You rang them on a phone. Much like the phone I'm filming on right now. But back in the day, you couldn't even do that. You just bloody rang it. Like there was a ringing service. You would ring them, and you'd go arrange time, and you would just go pick up the item. You weren't going to go look at said item, unless it was a car, in which case you might look it over. Most of the times, if you knew what you were buying, you would just go there, pay the person the money, and buy it. Maybe haggle a little bit. Everyone loves a good bargain. But you essentially just go buy the item. The problem today is that, well, first of all, you don't ring anyone. That is very, very odd, and I still don't get it. A lot of the times I'll send them a message just to initiate the conversation, but then I will actually turn to, here's my phone number, or give me your phone number, I'll give you a call. I tend to find those that you do that with that respond well to it, they're the really genuine sellers, basically. Or vice versa, if you're selling something, you just send them your number and, blah, blah, blah. That is a more genuine exchange than what we have today. The idea of just sending some text messages or a lowball offer, don't do that. It's a dick move. Is just not kosher. I don't know why people think it is. I know people do it. It's not kosher, man. It really isn't. Now, I'm not saying Marketplace is bad. I quite like Marketplace. And I spend quite a lot of time sifting through cars and parts and other junk. Love the joint. I also like the fact we have photos these days. It's very convenient. Back in the trading post days, you had a description. And like I say, it was about 3 lines. It wasn't a whole lot. It was just enough to let you know what you were looking for was for sale, essentially. I do miss the etiquette of the trading post days. I miss the printed thing and the whole waiting for it to come out each week thing too. That was kind of cool. Built the suspense up a little. But yeah, I do miss the etiquette of the whole thing. This guy was very good to deal with. Great. Organised it, went and looked at the car, drove the car, bought the car. Easy. Super simple. It should be that easy, right? Just buying a car. But the etiquette of it, and a person's word, which was kind of something once upon a time, just doesn't exist anymore. And to touch on that, holding things. Now, I understand in the Marketplace world that to hold something, when someone says they're going to be there on Sunday and it's Wednesday, is a big gamble because there is no etiquette, or, I don't even know what a better word is there, so I'm going to run with etiquette. There is no assurance that they're actually going to turn up. There's every chance they're going to ghost you and you'll never hear from them ever again. That's what happens in the Marketplace world. But somehow differently, back in the days of the trading post, if someone said they were going to be there on Saturday and it was Wednesday, they'll be there Saturday, 10 o'clock. There was no question in your mind that they were going to show up. They bloody well showed up. It's just how it was. I don't understand what's changed. Like, you didn't talk to them on the phone? Is that the difference? Could it be that simple? I don't know if it is, but that seems to be the only real difference. They can see your Facebook profile and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's out there in the world now. But I do miss that, you know? Like, a person says they're going to do something, they do it. That was pretty simple stuff once upon a time. The price is the price, I think is the best way of putting this next bit. You ever sold something? And I've done this a couple of times. Actually, I'll take a seat and tell you another story. Tell your story to tell your story. Rob Pitt style. God, I miss that guy. When you're selling something, right? Now this goes back to 2010, I want to say. I was selling a GQ Nissan Patrol Ute. Quite a nice car. Very, very loaded out. Lots of cool stuff in it. I listed the car for $20,000. I thought that was probably a little rich, but a pretty fair price. It was definitely had more value in that, I think. It's definitely had a bigger parts list than that, that's for sure. Anyways, listed the car on a Friday, basically sold it within 24 hours to a bloke. Now this particular guy was in, I put the thing that this was a car sales deal, I think, from memory, because it was kind of one of those things where Facebook Marketplace didn't exist and Trading Post really wasn't what it was, and I'm pretty sure I put it on car sales. Because, you know, back in the day, if you want to have a serious sale and you genuinely were meaning business, that was kind of the place to go. It's either that or Gumtree, can't remember now. Anyways, that's irrelevant. I listed the car for $20,000. This bloke contacted me, we had a big conversation on the phone, I sent him extra photos, and we said, he didn't even haggle the price. He said, I'll give you a $500 deposit, I can be there next weekend. I don't know, I marked it as pending, or I can't remember how that works then. It's not the same as Marketplace. You use that Marketplace lingo these days. Anyway, maybe I took it down, or I think I just left it up. You would have just left it up back in the day, and then there's people, if they send something through, you go, look, the car's sold. If it falls through, I'll let you know. I got people threatening me. I had one guy, I had lots of offers over $20,000. I had one guy offer me $24,000 to tell old mate to stick it, and that, you know, he'll take the car. I did not. I stuck to the deal I'd already made. Already had a $500 deposit. The deal was done anyways. Even if I didn't have that deposit, I would have stuck with that. I think that is like another etiquette thing. Like, if you've done a deal and the price is the price, maybe I did sell that car too cheap, and when I actually had a good look at the market, yes, 25 grand was probably the right money for that car. However, you could have put $25,000 on it, or $26,000, and sat on it. I made the decision to sell it. I was selling it. I think it's one of those things where when the price is fair, the right person will come along and they will take it off your hands, and everyone's happy. You got a good deal. I got the car sold. Money's in my bank. We're happy. Everyone's happy, right? We go our separate ways. But you still get those people who actually send you messages, angry at you for not selling it to them for more money. Like, money can fix the problem. And I think it comes back to that etiquette thing. Like, they just don't understand. They don't get it. A deal was done. You gave someone your word. You accepted their offer. It's done. It's over. So that one gets me from time to time too. Not so much on the selling side. Not so much on the buying side. I do get some frustrations myself, and I would certainly like to offer someone more money. But at the end of the day, you just got to accept that you've missed a bloody good deal, and just get back on Marketplace and find something else, because there's plenty out there to buy. Now let's move on. eBay. This is where this little fella comes into it. This is my pit bike. It is a cheap Chinese pit bike that I bought over 20 years ago on eBay. Now, back in the day, eBay was a bidding platform. That was some fun. I do miss that. The suspense of actually bidding on something. So these little pit bikes, this is a Pit Pro from memory is the name of the people who were selling these. Anyway, great bike, by the way. 20 years, it still goes strong. Back in the day, you bid on things. So they would list a bike like this for like no money, like $2 or something. And then you just bid until someone won the thing. I went through this several times to get one of these. Back when these were a big craze, I would have bid 4 or 5 times to try and win one buy. And I guess you have a dollar value set in your mind. You sort of know what they're going for. You followed a couple of auctions, because you could watch an auction and see when it ended and what it went for. buying stuff at auction was fun. Like eBay auctions, they were good value. And that went across the board. Like you could buy a car, boat, all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff on eBay auctioning. Oh man, it was that last minute you'd come down, you'd refresh just to make sure you were still the highest bidder, and then wait and see if someone actually outbid you. Which, you know, it happened. It happened a lot. It's like I say, it took me like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 10 times to get that bike, which miraculously still runs very well today. I'm still blown away by that. So yeah, eBay was good fun. I do miss the eBay days. I spoke briefly about Gumtree and car sales. The car sales still got some merit to it, I think. It's definitely still the more premier buying platform. If you wish to buy something, then that was actually, it's still pretty good. I'll go on there a fair bit to look at cars, and gives you an idea of the value of a good car. When you're looking around on Marketplace, you know, it's broad range. You can have some good stuff, but you can have some garbage in there too. And Gumtree was pretty good there for a while. I still go on there from time to time, but the search engine itself isn't very good. So searching for things is difficult, and then I tend to find the communication on there is not very good either. And I've sold stuff on Gumtree too, and I can understand that. I think the rarity of using Gumtree itself in particular generally means that you don't check it as often. I know I don't anyway. I've actually stopped selling on there. It's really just not for me. I do mainly keep to Marketplace these days, and I haven't sold a car on car sales probably since, oh no, I sold another Patrol there. And no, I haven't used it in a while, but I have used it. Usually if I got something good, like a very well presenting, fairly stockish car, I'll definitely go back to that. But Marketplace is my main place of selling. I just don't understand the whole keyboard warrior thing, I guess, is the point of this whole video. Bringing that back around again, it's been a bizarre experience. I haven't had to go buy something that I needed, I suppose, is probably what's brought this on. I needed a new courtesy car. I've actually been currently using the Navara, and the Navara is not a nice car. It is a $4,000 beach rig. It's basically what it was bought for. It's pretty much all it's good for. It's just a dirty old 90s Navara. It does Navara things, I guess. So I needed something that was more presentable and automatic, and you know, the air conditioning actually works every time you use it, not just when it feels like working. Stuff like that. And it's small and doesn't have my rooftop tent in the back, and feels like a company car, not my dirty old beach vehicle. So I went looking for a car, and it's been the most bizarre experience again. You know, just dealing with people on there is weird. I don't understand. If you're going to list it for sale, let it be for sale and just communicate with people. It's just so odd. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know what to say. I do love using Marketplace. I do love the broad range of stuff that's available to you on Marketplace. That's freaking rad. Man, I'll spend every night I got set searches. I'm sure you do too. And I scan my set searches and I just go through things. And I just know what I want to buy, and if something's just at the right price and I can flip it. I love a good flip, don't get me wrong. I'll buy something just to sell it again. Tidy it up, clean it up type scenario, and just move it on. I'm always down for a quick flip. So there's that too. I definitely do a lot of that in my spare time. But yeah, I just don't understand the etiquette of people. It's quite bizarre. This point speaks to both the buying and the selling. If I am selling something, I present it as what it is. If I'm buying something, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Let's say I'm looking for a 1996 Dodge Ram. Not just scanning the internet, but genuinely I'm looking to buy that particular car. I will scan it, like scan the internet, all the different platforms, and I will go out looking specifically for that thing. And when I find the right thing at the right price, I just go buy it. I know what I'm looking for, I know what it is, and I just go buy it. Does that make sense? Like, when I bought my Valiant, maybe the Ram's not the best thing, because I didn't mean to buy the Valiant either. What's a car I meant to buy? I very rarely buy something I mean to buy. Nonetheless, I go there with money, is what I'm getting at. If you're going to buy something, go there with the intent to buy it. It may be a piece of shit, and you're like, fuck no, I'm out on this one. But nonetheless, I always go there with the intent to buy, usually my car trailer in behind me and stuff like that. I'm there to buy. So many people just go, oh, they're really wishy-washy, they rock up. It's very bizarre. If I am buying something and I've seen it and I've contacted the person, I'm going there to buy that thing. Whatever it is. Even these wheels, check this out. These wheels, which I have absolutely zero need for, and they just sit here in the showroom. But they're freaking cool. They were $500. They were on Marketplace too. I went there with the intent to buy them. I actually took $500, unless the holes in the center were all messed up. I was buying those wheels, and I did. I just don't understand why people go there like, oh yeah, look, it's probably not quite what I'm looking for, and I might need to chat to my wife. You're like, far out, cuz. You came all this way, and you didn't even bother. Like, it's just, I find that weird. I really do. If you're going to go there to look at something, you should be going there with the intent to buy it. Don't waste people's time. If you're looking at buying it, then, like, be serious. Don't just go there to look. You ain't looking, you're buying. Low ball offers. Now, I'm not talking about you being a dick. Some dude's got some 15 grand you're offering for. I mean, like, if something, especially if it's a little bit further away and you've got a drive ahead of you and you negotiate a price, right? It's a pretty ballsy thing to do before you've seen it. So you negotiate a price before you've seen it, which I do a lot. And I'm never out to be rude, but there's certain things that you know are worth a certain amount of money, and there's a certain dollar value you'll pay for that. And I think if you communicate that correctly, it's not a lowball offer, it's a reasonable offer. If you make that lowball offer, or reasonable offer, depending on which way you want to look at that right now that I've said it that way, and you get there, you own that. You have bought it. You're not there to look. If I ever throw an offer out at someone and they accept my offer, I drive there with the cash in hand, with the intent to pay for said item. Even if I've made a bad decision, I've made some bad decisions. Some really bad decisions. Anyway, you do that. It's part of the fun. And sometimes half the fun is just buying some random thing and not working out what it is afterwards. But if you've made that lowball offer and you've driven there, don't waste that person's time. You bought that. You bought it before you got there. Accept that you're an idiot and move on with your life. I have made many bad decisions and I have gotten there and gone, oh, this is not what I thought it was. That is your fault, not theirs. You could have gone there and looked at the item first before you paid for it, before you threw the stupid offer out. The dumbest thing I bought in recent time, I bought some dumb things. The dumbest thing I bought in recent time, and you can go back, this is a previous video, is a rear couch. Oh, I'm sitting on one of those actually. Let's have a quick look at that. This is my car couch, right? I love this thing. It's an FE Holden rear end. I've got my badge on the side, my beautiful insert in there. I love this thing, right? That's how great they can look. But if you don't go look at it first, you could buy some rusted out piece of crap. Go look at a previous video I did on the Tirana rear end. I think it was 250 or 200 bucks or something like that. I got there and look, it looked bad in photos. So throwing an offer at this thing was just dumb, period. I get there and it is way worse in real life. Like when you actually, the photos didn't show the bottom of the rear quarters and things like that. It was so bad. It was so rusted out. It was beyond repair. And I can repair some junk. And I was only going to make it into a barbecue or a couch or something. I hadn't made up my mind at the time. But regardless of how crap it was, I bought it. Because I threw the dude an offer. And I told him a time. And I was a man of my word. I went down there and I paid him 200 or 250 bucks or whatever it was for the most rusted out rear end of a Tirana that you could imagine. Like, it was bad. It was real bad. But nonetheless, if you're going to throw out that offer, when you get there, that is not a time to renegotiate. That you bought that. That was your doing. You live with your mistake. With eBay back in the day, you could buy something, and if it wasn't right, you could, what is it? I can't remember what you call it. You could have a dispute, I suppose, if you want to call it that. And you could say, look, this wasn't as described, and you could send it back. That was actually a pretty cool thing on eBay, and your money was protected. That was pretty cool. You don't have that on Marketplace, which is good and bad. I think the onus falls on the person doing the buying more so than the selling. Yes, people should represent things properly, no doubt about it. And my God, some people really overcooked some things. I bought a cylinder head recently for a Land Cruiser that I'm doing some stuff to that really should have been buried in the ground at some point. But nonetheless, I'm fixing the stupid thing again. It was meant to be a good cylinder head anyway, because the machine shop and they're like, no, this thing's horribly rooted. This totally needs valves and everything. It's bad. When I was told that it was, serviced and overhauled sometime before I bought it, but it had been on an engine, but it was actually a really good head. It was not. Now, once again, that one's a bit of a crappy one because you can't really tell too much till you get to the machine shop. But it leads me into what I'm trying to get to here. If you're going to buy something, if you're going to make an offer, and they accept the offer, and they're going to deliver it, and this happens to me a fair bit, strangely enough. The amount of things I've had delivered, people are willing to deliver it. I don't know if they don't want you at their house, they don't want you to know where they live, I don't know. Anyway, people do offer to deliver things a fair bit. If you make an offer and they deliver it, I'm afraid you own that thing, regardless of how crap it is when they get here. And there's two sides to this coin. I'll show you the wheels on the Ram. Now, it's a bit dark tonight. It is a shed night, after all. These are KMC XD Series 22 by 11s. Big rims. I'm pretty happy with them, actually. I love the way they look on the truck. Came with really good tyres on them. And I really like how they fit the truck. They were on a DS Ram previously. I think they look $1 million on the thing, and I do love that truck. Now, they were $650, and old mate said he would deliver them. I did lowball him. I think he wanted $1,100 for them, which is a fair price. Don't get me wrong. I actually think, if you were to buy them new, there'd be a lot more money than that. However, he'd already put new wheels on his car, didn't like the 22s, and I didn't want to spend any more than that. Which I told him. I basically just said, look, man, I appreciate that you spent a lot of money on wheels that you don't like. However, I don't want to spend any more than this. If you don't want to take my money, that's fine. And initially, he did not. He first came back to me and said, I appreciate the offer, but I'll see how they go. And a couple of weeks later, he actually got back to me, and that's when we did the deal. Those wheels rocked up. Fantastic wheels. Love them. As described, mint nick. Really good wheels, great bargain. If you cast back to another video we did earlier of the water cart to head up to the Luke's compound with to have the go-karts, that was a set of 20-inch wheels for a Falcon, I think they were. In the photo, there was one wheel that looked reasonable. Amazing is a strong word. But compared to the others, it was amazing. The rest of the wheels were shit. They were so bad. Like, I know in the video I mainly focused on the one good wheel that was presentable. The rest of them were terrible. Now, for what I was doing with those wheels, it didn't really matter what they looked like. I didn't care. But I got to admit, when he rocked up, they were $200, those wheels. When he rocked up and I saw the condition of them, I was like, far out. I wish I went and looked at these first. They're terrible. Like, if I went and saw them, I'd have gone, nah, man, thanks anyway. I'll pass on this one. But he drove here. So I own those wheels at that point, and I think that goes across the board. If you negotiate a price and they deliver them, you own that stuff. That is yours, man. Live with your bad decision. Securing a purchase. This one's a big one, and I think a lot of people stuff this up. If you're going to buy something like the Jeep, I'm going to use the Jeep as an example. It's the most recent relevant thing I've purchased. I sat down on the couch after going and buying a Christmas tree, setting the Christmas tree up, doing all the Christmas stuff. And I opened up Marketplace, because that's just what I do. And that thing had just been listed. 20 minutes, 27 minutes, can't remember what it was. It was pretty soon. I shot the dude a message and just wanted his address. I wanted to get there immediately. The car was way undervalued, in my opinion. I had no car trailer, because the car trailer was full of crap, nor did it have a winch on it, so that car trailer was out of the action. I needed to get this car, and I need to get it ASAP. Don't muck around. This is the time to act quickly. I jumped in my truck and just hauled ass. It was like an hour away. And got there with cash in my pocket to do a deal. If you see something and you want it bad, don't muck around. Don't send a bunch of freaking messages and whatnot. You need an address and a phone number. Two things you need. Address and phone number. Address knows they know you're serious. The phone number, if they're willing to talk to you, some people are weird about that, but if they're willing to talk to you, you know you got a good person. I did both of those things and got there immediately. I negotiated, paid the man the money, and then worried about logistics afterwards. How am I going to get this thing home? Blah, blah, blah. Didn't actually have a clue. Hired a trailer in the end. Managed to get the job done. But I think the big thing is, if you see something, the Ram is a great example of that. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And I was laying in bed. I'd just gone to bed. And I was just laying there, and I opened up Marketplace for a scroll. I did have a little bit of money in the bank. Well, you know, I wanted a car. That's just how I roll. And And Dodge is one of my usual lists to scroll through. So the Ram came up, and it had also just been listed as well. And I shot that dude a message straight up. My message to him, I wish I could put that up on the screen, was basically, I want the car. I can be there tomorrow. It was only 10 o'clock at night. I can be there tomorrow. I made it very clear in the message, I'm not there to look at the car, I'm there to buy the car. This is important. I think this one's really important. If you know you're onto something, and it's a good thing. Now, the Ram was listed as non-running, the something wrong with the engine. Turned out to be pretty minor. For someone like me, I could sort it out pretty easily. But nonetheless, for the money that car was listed for, and much like the Jeep actually, I knew the Jeep was non-running, had a blown motor, I knew that I could fix it for a reasonable amount of money. And the car was still worth it. Even if the motor was dead and I have to rebuild the engine, that car's worth it. Now, if you have that moment and you just know that that is worthwhile, or if you just want it, that is important too. When you're buying, especially cars, and you're a car guy, or girl, that's okay too. If you just know you want that, pretty much at any cost, don't muck around, is the big thing. Get the job done. So with the Ram, I knew that was a hot ticket item. That thing was $9,000, which for a second gen Ram in Australia is just ridiculous. And it looks really tidy, and it is. It's this really tiny little truck. You just need to send them a message that basically says, I'm coming with cash to buy it. I'm not coming to look at it. And I loaded that thing on a tilt tray. I was not going there to look at the car. I was going there to hand someone some cash, to load a car on a trailer, and I'll look at it when I get home. I looked at it the next day. I got it home. We threw it here at the workshop. I looked at it the next day. I knew nothing about that car. Even down to the fact that on the way home, we had to stop for fuel. The truck needed some juice and the tilt tray. The car was advertised as a four-wheel drive and had 4x4 badges on the side of it. And I'm pulling up and putting some fuel in the truck at the service station. I looked down to the front and it didn't have a front diff. I was laughing like I am now. Like, I just didn't care. It didn't matter. Like, second gen Rams in Australia are so hard to find, let alone for $9,000, let alone in good condition. Like, I was just so happy to get the car. I think that's important. If you see something you really, really want, don't muck around, man. I shot that dude a message. I said, I'm coming to buy the car at your asking price. I'll be there tomorrow. I can give you a deposit now. And I did. I actually shot him a $500 deposit, which is a lot of money for me to give to someone, in the hope that car really did exist and it wasn't a marketplace scam. But nonetheless, it worked out. So yeah, if you're serious, don't muck around, man. Don't ask a question. Don't lowball. If it's a good deal at a good price, just get your backside there and put some cash on the table and secure that car or bike or whatever other random thing it may be. It's important to mention scams because, unfortunately, marketplace is full of bloody scammers. It is a very, very shitty truth of the modern day and age of the internet. But scammers are out there, and they're out to get your money. And I'm a victim. Yep, it happens to me too. Especially when you're as aggressive as I am with purchasing stuff. If I see something I dead set want, I am bullet a gate, hell for leather. Let's get this thing, like the Ram, like the Jeep, like everything pretty much that I've ever bought. Except for the Kia. I was very, very slow on buying that car. I went and looked at it and then replied that night and then picked it up the next day, which is today. Mainly because I needed it, I didn't want it. So that's different. Anyway, Kia aside, I'm going to use a trailer that I tried to purchase a little while ago as an example for this. If they're asking you for a deposit, especially if it's local, don't. It's my best advice. The Ram was in Brisbane, and it seemed legitimate enough. Although I actually thought it was a scam. I thought I'd lost $500 on that stupid deal. A trailer. This guy was selling a trailer. It was not too cheap, but it was cheap. It was a dual axle galvanized trailer for $500. Now, that is cheap. It's nearly too cheap, but it was a second-hand trailer. It was a bit rough. It wasn't perfect. And I did my due diligence. I did some research, right? Not good with big words. I did some research on it. He said he was moving house and that downsizing and needed it gone. And he sent me his address in our conversation. I'm like, sick. So I Googled it, and that house was for sale. Oh, okay, he really is moving house. That makes sense, because I was arranging to go see the trailer. But he couldn't finish work until later that day and had a lot of interest on the trailer. Would need a deposit. I could pick it up that afternoon. But I'd done my research, and yes, that house had been sold recently on one of the platforms that sell houses. Can't remember which one. Nonetheless, I shot him $50, and I knew this deal had fucking gone sideways on me at the point where he came back and said $50 is not enough to hold it. I'm going to need more money. I knew at that stage I was busted. Nonetheless, I played along for a little bit longer, and it all went pear-shaped. Basically, long story short, if it's local and it is something that you can go see, go and see it first. Be careful of being scammed. I know everything else I've said contradicts that. It's getting later, right? It's been a long day at work. It's been very hot, and I'm getting a little tired. But this has just been such a big thing. I just picked up this car, and I just a little raveled. It's been a couple of weeks or a month or something trying to buy a car, and it's been a very bizarre process. I know that contradicts everything I was saying before, but in the situation where it's something like that and you can go look at it and it is local, this is at Budrum. I'm at Maroochydore. My workshop's at Maroochydore. So, like, it wasn't far for me to go and have a look and wait for him to finish work and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, be very careful of being scammed on Marketplace. The best thing to do is go and check their profile. If they haven't been a Facebook user for the last, 10 to 15 years, which most people should be at these days, and they've got, no sales history and stuff like that, it's probably a scam. Some of them are very well done, though, so be careful. But, yes, wherever you can, go and look at it first before you give up a deposit. Deposits are tricky. Scammers love a good deposit just to take it and bugger off into the abyss. Nonetheless, let's just take a moment to look at my appliance of a motor vehicle. It's not bad. It is a 2009 Kia Sorento. I know nothing about these cars. It's black. I was shopping for either black or white because our business stuff is, look at come in here for a second. Our company logo and everything is black and white. So that's our main logo. There's some of our stickers. It's all black and white. I like black and white. It sort of just looks cool and pops and does what it needs to do. So anyway, I have a black Kia Sorento. I'm probably going to ceramic coat this purely because it is actually a really good black car. I think it's definitely been garaged its whole life. But I know black and the sun don't mix. So especially here in Queensland, that's not going to last. It does look very nice. It's nice. Nice. That's all you can say about a car. It's nice. It beeps. Fuck, I already want to get rid of it. I don't do cars that beep. Anyway, it's very nice. If you need a car to get you around, that's probably really, really good on fuel and all that sort of thing. So that is it. I think I'm going to do a ceramic coat on it, purely just to try and protect the paint. I've actually already ordered it. I'm going to do it myself. Doesn't have to be great, just has to not fade badly. I'm kind of feeling the wheels should be white. I know. I don't think that's really cool, but I just feel like they should be white, black and white. I'm going to do some KM logos down the side. I want to do one of our t-shirts, our Power and Passion t-shirt is the Trans Am Phoenix. And I feel like this bonnet needs a Trans Am Phoenix. Just bear with me on that one. We'll see how that plays out. Like I say, logos down the side, little something on the back. Voila. Company car. Company car? It's not really a company car. It's just the loan vehicle. So that is it. Thank you for bearing with me on this rant. It's just been a very bizarre journey. Like I say, I bought stuff on Marketplace before, plenty of times. But this particular one, because I was actually actively looking for something I needed, as opposed to buying a Navara or a Ram. Actually, the Ram I just felt like buying something, and I would always look, and it just came up at the right price, so I bought that car. The Navara, I did actually need a new four-wheel drive. I wasn't really actively looking. I'm always looking. But this I needed. I was in the market for needing something like this. Didn't really actually care for the brand. I'm not a Kia person. I know nothing about Kias. I'm sure they're good. I'm sure they're terrible. I have no idea. I just needed a very small, compactish type car in either black or white. Had to be an automatic. I need the air conditioning to blow nicely. I need the interior to be clean so that when I give it to people, it's not a horrible 90s Nissan Navara, which is what that is. It's a rough old car, that thing. So yeah, that's it. That is what it happened. It was just such a long, drawn out experience that I don't know. I felt the need to make a video on it because it blew my mind. And like I say, I was talking to a mate of mine tonight on the phone, and we were reminiscing about the days of trading posts and buying stuff, and just how people were ethical. I'm gonna go with ethical. I just think that's it. It's just that simple. You're just a good dude. So if you say something, you do that. It's really simple. Anyways, that's all it is. Nonetheless, thank you for following me on this bizarre little rant about me buying a car. I will probably do a video on this car. Maybe do the ceramic coat and I'll show you how the stickers look. See how it turns out. I'll let you know. Keep you posted. But another thing, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Gas and stuff. It's happening right now. So you'll see a video on that real soon. Cheers. Peace out.